My best friend raised her wine glass, smiling like she always did when she was about to say something clever. The restaurant lights were warm, golden, soft music played in the background. My birthday dinner looked perfect from the outside. My closest friends, laughter echoing off the brick walls, the smell of garlic and roasted chicken drifting through the air. Then she said it. "All right, everyone, a toast," she laughed. Glasses clinked around the table. "To the girl who still doesn't know the truth." Everyone laughed, even me, because in that moment, I thought it was just another one of her weird inside jokes. But the laughter felt strange, too loud, too forced, like a room full of people pretending something was funny when it really wasn't. And that's when I noticed something. No one looked at me. They were looking at her. My best friend, the girl I trusted more than anyone in the world, and suddenly, my stomach dropped. Because I did know the truth. I had known it for 3 days. So I slowly reached into my purse, pulled out my phone, connected it to the restaurant speakers, and said, "Perfect timing, because I brought the recording." Before we dive deeper into this story, take a second to hit like and subscribe. Because if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, someone who smiled to your face while destroying you behind your back, this story is going to hit hard. And trust me, what happened at that birthday dinner, it's the kind of revenge moment people dream about for years. So if you enjoy powerful emotional stories where the truth finally comes out, stick around. Because what happened next made an entire restaurant go silent. Let me explain something about Lena. Lena wasn't just my best friend. She was the person who knew every embarrassing story from my childhood. The one who held my hand after my first breakup. The girl who slept on my couch for 2 weeks. When her parents kicked her out during college. We had been inseparable for 8 years. People used to joke that we were basically sisters, which is probably why it took me so long to notice the little cracks, the subtle things, like how she always made jokes about my job. "Oh, Claire works so much she probably sleeps with spreadsheets." Or how she'd laugh whenever someone complimented me. Careful, don't inflate her ego. Everyone thought it was harmless, playful, but sometimes the jokes felt a little too sharp. Still, I ignored it, because when someone has been part of your life that long, your brain refuses to imagine they could actually hurt you. Then 3 days before my birthday, something strange happened. I got a message, not from Lena, from Mark, my boyfriend. Or, at least, the guy I thought was my boyfriend. The message only had 2 words. "Call me." So I did, and when he answered, his voice sounded tight, like someone holding their breath underwater. "Claire," he said, "before you hear it from someone else, you deserve to know something." That sentence alone made my chest tighten. "What?" I asked. There was a pause. Then he said something that made my world tilt sideways. "Your best friend Lena has been telling people you're cheating on me." I remember laughing, actually laughing, because the idea was so ridiculous. "Okay," I said. "What's the real joke?" But Mark didn't laugh. Instead, he said quietly, "Claire, she's been saying it for months." And then he sent me something, an audio recording, one that changed everything. When Mark sent the recording, I didn't open it right away. I just stared at the message on my phone. My brain kept rejecting the idea, like a locked door refusing the wrong key. Lena wouldn't do that. Not Lena. But eventually, curiosity won. I pressed play. At first, there was background noise, music, clinking glasses, the muffled buzz of a bar. Then I heard her voice, clear as day. "Oh, please," Lena laughed. "Claire isn't exactly loyal." My heart stopped. Another voice asked, "Wait, what do you mean?" And Lena answered so casually it made my skin crawl. "She's been seeing another guy behind Mark's back for months." The table in the recording erupted in shocked laughter. Someone asked, "Seriously?" And Lena replied, "Yeah, poor Mark has no idea. She plays the innocent card really well." I sat there frozen. The air in my apartment suddenly felt heavy, like the walls were closing in. Because every word she said was a lie, a complete deliberate lie. And the worst part? I could hear the confidence in her voice. She had told this story before, probably dozens of times, which meant something terrifying slowly became clear in my mind. Lena hadn't just betrayed me once. She had been quietly destroying my reputation for months. Telling people I was a cheater, making me look like a liar, like someone who didn't deserve the life I had. When the recording ended, my hands were shaking. Not with sadness, with clarity. Because suddenly, everything made sense. The strange looks from mutual friends. The awkward silence at parties. Even the small arguments Mark and I had started having recently. Lena had been planting poison everywhere. And now, it was time to pull the roots out. So 3 days later, I sat at my birthday dinner, watching Lena smile across the table. watching her raise that wine glass to the girl who still doesn't know the truth. Everyone laughed, even me. Then I reached into my purse, pulled out my phone, connected it to the restaurant speakers, and said calmly, "Perfect timing." Because I brought the recording. The laughter stopped instantly. You could actually hear the music from the kitchen now. I tapped play, and Lena's voice filled the restaurant. "Oh, please. Claire isn't exactly loyal." The color drained from her face so fast it was almost fascinating. Her smile collapsed. Her hands froze around the wine glass. Around the table, people slowly turned toward her. The recording continued. Every lie, every cruel laugh, every word she thought no one would ever hear. By the time it ended, the silence was suffocating. Lena looked at me like a trapped animal. "Claire, I can explain." I shook my head gently. "No," I said. "You already did. Here's the thing about betrayal. It rarely comes from enemies. It comes from people who sit at your table, laugh with you, celebrate your birthdays, people you trust enough to lower your guard. But lies have a funny way of surviving. They grow. They spread, until one day, the truth walks into the room and turns on the lights. And when that happens, the people who built their power on deception usually have nothing left to stand on. Just like Lena. If this story made your jaw drop, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more powerful Reddit revenge stories just like this one. And I'm curious, what would you have done in my situation? Would you have exposed her the same way, or confronted her privately? Tell me in the comments, because some betrayals deserve forgiveness, but others, they deserve a front row audience. And trust me, that birthday dinner is something Lena will probably remember for the rest of her life. And if you enjoy stories where karma finally shows up, stick around, because the next one might be even crazier.